919 FM. Your morning of impact. Sam Marshall shares uplifting stories and conversations with people making Johannesburg and the world a better place.
Today we're focusing on an incredible initiative that's transforming schools and communities through food security and environmental education. Joining me on the line now is Bharathi Tugh, who's the EduPlant Manager and Education Associate at Food and Trees for Africa. This organization, in partnership with Tiger Brands, hosted the EduPlant Programme stakeholder engagement, which happened on this past Friday. And it's a platform that brings together educators, communities, and partners to strengthen sustainable food gardens in school. Bharathi, good morning and thanks for joining me.
Good morning, Sam, and thank you for having me.
Okay, so I know there's a lot of post-event analysis, but take us back to Friday. What happened on Friday? And also, if you can, tell us a little bit about Food and Trees for Africa.
Sam, on Friday, we celebrated and we honored a cross-sector partnership. So the EduPlant program involves a number of stakeholders. So at the event, we had Tiger Brands, which is our official sponsor of the EduPlant program. We are Food and Trees for Africa, an NGO, and we have representatives from government who have endorsed our relationship with the schools. And we have the Department of Education and the Gauteng Department of Environment. And we have the learners of Philip Kushlik, which is a special needs school based in Soweto, where they had an opportunity to showcase the impact that our training has had on the schools, the learners, and especially the hands-on experiential learning, which translated into tangible, highly productive food gardens.
Why are food gardens, Bharathi, so important? We know food insecurity is a thing, but what have you guys seen at Food and Trees for Africa that us ordinary laymen did not see? Why is there such a big focus on food gardens at schools?
We realized the school's nutrition program was providing meals at schools. So that catered for the learners during the school hours, during the duration of the school period. But what happens thereafter? Often learners arrive at school with no breakfast. The Tiger Brands Foundation is supporting the breakfast initiative. But what happens on weekends and school holidays and public holidays? There was an opportunity for us to partner with corporates such as Tiger Brands to create learning environments where skills are shared with learners. And these are skills which are aligned with the curriculum. For example, you teach water management, soil conditioning, environmental ethics, growing food. What is the climate crisis like? What is the impact on the climate crisis? And we believe that if we engage with children at this level, the influence will be greater. So what we have seen with this program, we have impact on schools. In this cycle, we've impacting on 300 schools nationally. So how it works, if we have a structured program that teaches the teachers and the learners and the community, it's a holistic approach. So we create clusters, strong clusters of food security. It's sustainability, it improves lives, it's been improving the landscape of where our schools are situated. Often our schools are targeted in under-resourced areas or underserved areas. So the program then creates an opportunity to be replicated at home. So Sam, it's not just creating a school garden. Here we've turned whatever space is available at the school into a vibrant hub of food growing. Our participants showcase how they learn to nurture earth. They don't build a garden in school, but create resilient communities. We've seen over the years, this program is in existence since 1992, and we've seen the impact, the life-changing impact of this program. We provide fresh, nutritious food at school, the new skills that the children learn, and it becomes like a powerful sense of a collective purpose here. We see how just planting seeds can blossom into healthier. And I think we've seen stronger communities for all.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago, I hosted a TV show on ETV called Let's Fix It, right? And one of the fixes, Bharathi, and I completely understand what you're saying when you talk about that transfer of skills from food and trees and what you do to a young person who can then replicate that model at home. So a couple of years ago, we went into, it was kind of north of Kakamas, and there was this family, deeply poor, impoverished community, destitute. And one of the solutions we built, and when I say a couple of years ago, I mean a couple of years ago, one of the solutions we built was to teach them how to have their own food gardens. Because it was a very, very impoverished family. I mean, the community itself was very impoverished, but this family seemed to really just reflect how broken the system was. And within a matter of 3 or 4 days, we worked. I think at that point, the gentleman who came in was I think he's the guy who won Idols. I think his name was Jason Hartman. I can't remember, but he works in communities and he sets up food gardens. And he came in and he taught the sons, the boys in this family. I think there was one girl, but she was very young, and he taught the mom how to not only plant, but plant what was in season, and how they could meet their nutritional value by planting the right vegetables and fruits. And eventually down the line, I mean, I did not keep track of the story, but I'm sure Jason did. They also taught the family how to then take the excess vegetables and fruit and either trade or sell that. And there was a practical example of when you come into a community, you focus and you're orientated, that you can actually, and look, not for a moment am I suggesting that family overnight moved from this very food insecure environment to a food secure environment. But what I can guarantee is that they were taught the skills to be able to take themselves out of a situation where they had access to no food, to a point where they could grow their own food. And I could see the level of confidence and value it instilled in those young people. So apart from the skills of planting and the skills of learning what to plant, when to plant, and how to look after the garden, there was just this hope and optimism that was brought into this family by being able to teach them something that all of us can do, by the way. You don't need to have superpowers to plant a garden.
Exactly, Sam, and that is what we are doing. So when we structured the EduPlant program, which Tiger Brands realized as well, it just fits in. We're a perfect fit for their strategies because they also focus on building sustainable and resilient, food secure, and healthy communities. So we were the perfect fit. It's the entire value chain. You understand your soil. You understand your weather patterns. You do seasonal planting. We also have a module that we teach on value added. So if it just resonates with what you just said, where people then sell off their surplus. We have schools that are planting according to the meal plan of the school's nutrition program. So if you have adequate spinach, you have pumpkins that are growing, you're harvesting onions and carrots and beetroot, then supplies the school nutrition program would generate income for the school as well. And then you have the learners. There's a business element that we've introduced as well. You understand what it takes to develop a food garden. Great, we've introduced input, but then how do you sustain it? So seed saving is another element that forms part of our training, plant nursery skills. So these are important, crucial skills that are imparted to our children, would then replicate at home. And it's not just one home, it then spreads. It has a multiplier effect then.
Yeah. But I think the bigger challenge for you guys at leadership, and I wonder how you reflect this, Bharati, at Food and Trees for Africa, it is reimagining intentionally, not just by talking, but reimagining intentionally what food systems can look like within communities. How tough has that been from a first of all from a just a very practical in the community, hands on changing that mindset. So this is reimagining food systems. And then how difficult has it been? So one, practically on the ground. Secondly, from an advocacy perspective, how challenging has that been?
Then what we've realized in terms of the importance of including communities in the training. So if you have a champion in the community, most importantly, our successes lay in schools that have champion teachers and champion community members. Often, if that element we don't access, then projects do have a challenge. Therefore, it's so critical in our selection process as well. Remember, it's a huge investment that we do. It's educational resources. It's practical training. It's workshops. It's input, planting inputs that go. And if we do not have this element of commitment and dedication from individuals, then the challenges arise. But what we've also realized, it's difficult for the youth. Youth don't see this as a quick turnaround, instant gratification. So we've also introduced a component of looking at this as a career path for children in the mainstream school. We do aspects of career pathing. We do aspects of vocational training with the special needs schools that we work. So this has become a spin-off, but every year it's going back to the drawing board. What is that work? Where are the challenges? How often do we need to do intervention? And at what point is this going to become sustainable? Often, majority of the primary schools are highly successful, have highly successful gardens. When it is a secondary school, unless it is kids or teachers that really engage, or the principal is a dynamic leader who brings in his community at all levels, whether it's the maintenance of the garden during holiday periods, the training programs, gives them an opportunity. In some of the schools have given pieces of their land for the community to grow as well, because it's a secure environment, it has fencing, it has access to water, whether it's via water tanks. So these are the aspects that we need to consider, Sam, to ensure that programs become sustainable and there's a return on the investment of our sponsors as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned sponsors. Let's quickly talk about the involvement of Tiger Brands and that relationship, because I think corporates like Tiger Brands are, as you've already highlighted, are key strategic partners in this journey. But it also demonstrates true shared value, right? Creating impact for communities while also benefiting business.
Yes, Tiger Brands has been our partner, has developed a partnership with us to 2019, the EduPlant Programme specifically. And to date, Sam, they've supported more than 1,200 schools nationally. And majority of these schools have thriving gardens, and they're supporting the school nutrition program. So in return, we ensure that we meet their sustainability criteria. We understand what they need for their brand, for example. It's built on principles of our collaboration, sustainability, and most importantly, measurable impact. And we see the visible impact. We have data that we collect, like the number of learners that are involved in the program. What is the harvest record? What are their sales? how much of this has been invested into a value and how can we scale up. And there's an additional program which we have, which is our food garden program. And Tiger Brands is now supporting some of these ones where the communities are developed to scale up and to provide either to the bulk market or to provide to some of the local food green outlets that sell their fruits and vegetables. So it is important that this partnership that we have with Tiger is a long-lasting one because we need to ensure that our deliverables are met with every workshop that we conduct, every food garden that we support.
I love it. Bharathi, for anybody who wants to follow the journey, wants to see as you go along setting up these sustainable food gardens, do the advocacy work, change these food systems within communities, where can they go?
They can go onto our website, which is www.trees.org.za, and go to our application portal as well, Sam, where they can request and do an application for food gardening support, school gardening support, or tree support as well, because we run a greening program through our Trees for All program, where you can apply trees. To date, we have planted 4.8 million trees nationally. So we do support communities, and we match up with sponsors that want to green specific areas or schools or create food forests. So that is where you need to go. And follow us on our social media pages as well.
Bharathi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sam, and all the best. We look forward to engaging with you and your media further. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. That's Bharathi Tugh, who is the EduPlant Manager and Education Associate at Food and Trees for Africa, talking to us about their launch last week in partnership with Tiger Brands. They launched the EduPlant Programme that was led by the organization Food and Trees for Africa. And what they've been doing is just absolutely mind-blowing. It's truly, truly the stuff that legends are made of. This is what we talk about, organizations that's building the spirit and the gees of this brand we call South Africa. They've been creating since forever now. It's been like, if it's not been hundreds of years, since 1990, I think this organization has been in effect, just doing the work on the ground and setting up sustainable food gardens and changing food ecosystems and making sure that by creating sustainable food gardens in schools across the country, they're helping children learn, eat better, and build stronger communities. And that's what they've really been talking about, what that mission is all about, how they see food security in education. What does partnership in action look like, especially with their partnership in relation to Tiger Brands and the work that they're doing? What does community ownership look like when you collaborate with communities, where the system is not only built for the school, but in children, in actual fact, young people can take what they learn at school, take it home, and actually set up food secure gardens at home. Then the other aspect is as well is that they'll teach these kids what is seasonal, what's in season, what they should be planting, what does ethical gardening look like. So it's a comprehensive list of things that they do, how they go about building social innovation, how they bring together things like agriculture, education, and community building. What does that approach look like? How does innovation within that space look like? And what's the mechanism for traditional feeding within the educational program? So there's just so much that this organization has been thinking about and how they do those things. I thought it would be important to have this conversation, that there are organizations thinking about food security in townships, in rural settings, and they are slowly building it with their partners, slowly thinking about what does that impact look like. And I think that truly for me is an amazing organization, amazing institution, and they are winning. That's the most important thing. They're winning. I know there's so many stories of food insecurity. I know there's so many stories of crime, but these organizations are winning, and they're winning inch by inch, claw by claw, one foot in front of the other. They are winning. Go and find out more about them. Go and find out about the work that they do. If you want to feel better about South Africa, follow these organizations. They are prolific on social media. They post often. They share what they do, and it's going to make you feel better about the place that you live. I promise you. I absolutely promise you.